And I would ask Councilwoman Evelyn Bryant-Ward to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
Recording has begun, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Evelyn, are you there? No, Evelyn's not there. John, could you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I'd be happy to.
Thank you.
All right. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, sir, for that. I see that Dawn has not made it to the meeting. So, Greg, that makes you a voting member tonight.
Okay.
And our first item on the agenda is, who's controlling the screen? Is it Kelly or Craig?
Kelly.
Could you scroll it down, please, to
Certainly.
first item on the agenda? Thank you. Okay, so we have a public hearing is the first, I'm sorry, approval of minutes from the previous meeting. I tend to forget that a lot. I don't know why, and it's written right on the agenda. So I'm assuming everyone has had an opportunity to review the minutes. Are there any questions or comments on the minutes? Not hearing any, could I hear a motion to accept the minutes?
I move that we accept the minutes.
Who said that?
Greg.
Greg? Okay, Greg has made a motion to accept the minutes. Is there a second?
Mr. Chairman, I'll second.
Thank you, John. The motion has been properly made and seconded. Is there any other discussion on the minutes? Not hearing any, I would ask for votes. I'll start with John. Yay or nay?
Yay.
Evelyn Bryant-Ward. Yay or nay?
Yay.
Tracy?
Yay.
And I also say yay. Oh, Greg, I missed you. I'm sorry. Yay or nay?
Yay.
Okay. Passes unanimously. Thank you very much. So now we go to a public hearing. And with the public hearing, there are procedures to be reviewed. And gosh, I had them open here. Where are they? And the first thing we do is we typically have either Kelly or Craig review the hearing procedures. Could one of you please do that?
Certainly. Town of La Plata Planning Commission virtual public hearing procedures. The Town of La Plata virtual public hearings will be conducted in the following manner. At the discretion of the chairman, speakers' comments may be limited to 3 minutes. If you wish to speak for the record, you must announce your name when joining the virtual meeting and state that you intend to speak during the hearing. Keep your phone and audio muted until called to speak. The meeting manager will add your name to the speakers list. Written documents for the record should have been emailed to the Director of Planning, who will present to the chairman prior to the opening of the hearing. Madam Director, do you have any names to add?
I do not, and I have not received any written comments regarding the subject.
If you have any questions or would like to submit written documents for the record, which we should have already, please contact Janine Harrington, Director of Planning, prior to close of the record. The order of events: 1, call to order; 2, review of procedures; 3, review of public notices; 4, recommendations as a summary of staff report, staff recommendation; 5, the applicant's presentation and testimony where applicable; 6, questions by the Planning Commission commissioners; 7, written documents will be entered into the record; 8, speakers who have previously signed up will be called on by the chairman and may be limited to 3 minutes; 9, additional questions by the Planning Commission; 10, applicant closing statement where applicable; And finally, when the hearing is concluded, the Planning Commission will not hear further comments or questions during the meeting. If the record is kept open for a specific number of days, written comments should be submitted by the deadline and to the attention of the Director of Planning, Janine Harrington. Any comments received following the close of the record will not be considered.
Thank you for covering that, Kelly. You probably already said this, but I guess I want to ask, review of public notices. Was this meeting properly advertised? Or this hearing, I should say?
It was in
Okay.
the Maryland Independent. I do not believe the certificate of publication is attached, however.
All right. So I would like to go to Director Harrington to provide us a summary of the purpose for the hearing.
All right, good evening, Planning Commission members. Hopefully everyone can hear me all right. So for the 2021 Comprehensive Rezoning Map, this is in regards to the multiple properties that we brought before the Planning Commission and that we took to the Town Council on December 21st for introduction and discussion for several different properties that are shown on Attachment A on the agenda. This is for the official comprehensive update to the official zoning map with regards to those properties. So in summary, on Attachment A, we had parcel 69 on tax map 108. The previous zoning was R10. And I believe that that was a zoning map error during the 2018 update with the new zoning proposed as commercial highway, which is what it was prior to 2018. We also had parcels 443 and 81 on tax map 109. The previous zoning was traditional development mixed use. And prior to that, it was the mixed use or MUD along with the Heritage Green development. We went back to the records and determined that that was a zoning error because that property or those properties were never part of the actual Heritage Green annexation. So we are proposing to rezone them to R3. And then finally, the property along Dorchester, which is currently owned by the town, was rezoned to Industrial High in 2018 because it was a town-owned property. But due to the implementation of the Dorchester Community Center, we have proposed to rezone that to central business in line with surrounding uses in order to make sure that the Dorchester Community Center can continue the good work that they're doing in that area of the town. And with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions that you may have of me. And of course, the town is the applicant technically, so, but yeah, happy to answer any questions you have.
Are there any questions from the commissioners? Okay, not hearing any. And as Director Harrington has mentioned, the town is the applicant, so I guess there's no further presentation from the applicant. Director Harrington has also said there's no written documents entered. Is there anyone in attendance tonight that desires to speak on this subject? Not hearing any. Director Harrington, you have any closing comments as the applicant?
Just to state with those properties, and this is also kind of an official updating of the entire 2021 official zoning map. As you'll notice, the hospital campus overlay zone, which was previously approved, is shown on here, and 14 West Hawthorne, which was approved for commercial highway, is also shown on this as well. But other than that, it's just a overall update to our official zoning map. And once this is adopted, will become available to the public on the town's website and incorporated into our online GIS system for staff and for anyone that has access to that they can use.
Okay, so I understand that the Planning Commission has already seen this, and I think I heard you say the Town Council has also already seen it, correct?
Correct. On December 21st, we brought this before the Town Council for introduction and discussion, and I do not believe that there was any questions or commentary at that meeting. So after tonight's Planning Commission public hearing, if you decide to close the hearing, we will take this to the Town Council for a public hearing on January 25th with a proposed adoption date of February 22nd with a date effective of March 9th of 2022.
Okay, so having heard that, unless there is an objection, I propose to close the public hearing at this time. Any objection to that? Okay, and I do not think, correct me if I'm wrong, I do not think that we need to take any vote on this. Is that correct? The purpose of this was just a public hearing and gather any comments from the public.
I believe so, unless you guys had any. Kelly, do you guys have any? I don't think it does. You may want to, just to make sure we're covering all of our bases. But everyone agrees to close the hearing and proceed forward with the Town Council public hearing.
Any comments from the commissioners along those lines?
Well, Mr. Chairman, just based on my past history, it would be typical for a planning commission to recommend, as a result of the public hearing and the formal process, to simply recommend that this action move forward to the Town Council for their requisite public hearing. I think everybody's in unanimous approval of it. So again, don't want to be redundant, but procedurally it makes sense that we make a recommendation.
Okay, I'm good with that. So could someone please make a motion along those lines?
All right, I'll go ahead and make the motion that the Planning Commission hereby forward the zoning map update to the Town Council for their upcoming public hearing.
And is there a second?
I'm sorry, who made the motion?
John Mudd.
John Mudd.
Is there a second?
I second the motion.
Thank
Greg.
you. Okay, the motion has been properly made and seconded. Are there any other words of discussion before we vote? Okay, then I will go to vote. Tracy, yay or nay?
Yay.
Evelyn, yay or nay?
Yay.
John, yay or nay?
Yay.
Greg?
Yay.
Yay. And I also say yay. The motion passes unanimously. The rezoning will now go to the Town Council. And thank you all for participation in that. Next item on the agenda, matters of discussion and review. Oh, election of chairman and vice chairman.
I think we had brought that up at the December meeting that we needed a vice chair.
All right, somehow, I guess I focused all my attention on the public hearing. Didn't look ahead to this. Okay, so currently we have a chair, but we do not have a vice chair. And if I understand correctly, I've been the chair for a little bit more than a year. So this is a time where the commission can decide whether or not it's time for me to move on to be just a commissioner or otherwise. And let's make sure that we have at the end of this discussion a chairman and a vice chair. So I open it up for discussion to the commissioners along those lines.
Mr. Chairman, this is John Mudd. I would strongly recommend and suggest that you continue on as chairman of the Planning Commission. So that's my motion to have you continue as chairman for the upcoming year.
Okay, I would accept that nomination. Could I hear a nomination from the floor for a vice chairman?
Chairman Mudd, I nominate, Chairman Gann, I nominate Mr. Mudd for vice chair.
John, would you accept that nomination?
I would, yes.
Okay, so I have been nominated to continue as chair. John Mudd has been nominated to be the vice chair. Is there any discussion further on that before we go to a vote? Not hearing any, I'll go to a vote. Greg, how about you? Yay or nay on those two nominations?
Yay.
Evelyn?
Yay. Just for parliamentary procedures, I want to make sure that we don't need to second. There were motions. And so with there being two motions on the floor, do we need a second on the motion?
I guess I was considering it nomination versus motions, but I'll defer to the rest of the commission. Would anyone be willing to second these two nominations?
I second. This is
That was
Tracy.
Tracy. Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, so the motion to nominate Gann and Mudd as chairman and vice chairman, respectively, has been made and properly seconded. Any other discussion before we go to vote? Not hearing any. Greg, your vote, please. Yay or nay?
Yay.
Evelyn?
Yay.
Tracy?
Yay.
John?
Yay.
And I also say yay. So the motions pass unanimously. And congratulations, Mr. Mudd. And thank you for the help that you're going to be providing me. I appreciate it. And us.
I appreciate it. Appreciate the vote of confidence.
Okay, matters of information. Director Harrington, Planning Department.
My apologies for not having an attachment. As I stated before, I was off last week. I took a little break. But I don't have too many updates at this time. Starting the new year, I will be bringing the annual report at a future meeting date, hopefully sooner rather than later. I'm looking for either February or March to have that completed to bring before you. We will have Heritage Green coming forward with their Neighborhood O and Neighborhood A coming down the line. Right now we have Neighborhood O in for review. That is the section that is directly adjacent to the first Neighborhood A and Agricopia. There will be an interparcel connection into Agricopia as well as the connection into Charles Street. But other than that, I do not have any upcoming projects at this time, but I'm happy to answer any questions you have.
Any questions for Director Harrington? Not hearing any, we'll move to Councilwoman Evelyn Bryant-Ward for council update.
Oh, wow. Let me just gather my mind around all of the things that we've covered since our meeting in early meeting in December. We did have the hub to come before us, taking a look at their current proposals and the most recent master site development plan that they have and what they're proposing. It has changed over the years, and so we've asked that they clarify before they come before you to make sure that we are voting on what they are actually bringing before us. And I think that was the most important thing. We did have a couple of ordinances that we voted on and signed off on, but those were things that had already been before the council. So I just strongly encourage, if you have not, if you don't know the history of some of the annexations and developments that are coming before us, Director Harrington can send you a list of everything that we will be considering in the next year or so. And so you can go back and read the history of it. And also, I'm not sure if everybody, and I know this is not a council update, but I really want to say this. If you have not had an opportunity to review what our roles are as planning commissioners, what it is that we come before individuals to do, please take an opportunity to review that so that we are making wise decisions and we are, really considering everything from the proper perspective. So that's what I have, Chairman Gann.
Thank you very much. I would piggyback on what you said, because you mentioned the hub. The hub is a very, very big project, perhaps not as big as Heritage Green, but it's still big and it's got lots of complications. So your advice to the commissioners, especially those who are new, avail yourself of any information about that so that you're well prepared before it comes before the commission. Thanks for that heads up. Any questions of the councilwoman? Okay, is there any other business for the good of the commission to be brought up at this point? Not hearing any. Under Robert's rules, I declare this meeting adjourned, and I thank you all very much, and Happy New Year to everyone. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Happy New Year. Stay warm.